In today's video, I am going to be breaking down my top 5 basketball plays that I'm currently seeing a lot of high school and youth teams use in their games. Let's get down and let's check these out. But really quickly, if you want the high school Horns basketball playbook, make sure to go check out the link down below. Some of these plays are Horns plays that I've seen recently that are absolute killers. So this first play, what I'm going to be breaking down is this team actually started in the 5-out. They ran a lot of 5-out offenses, but whenever they wanted to run their Horns play, they would bring in the wings, and that's how they would actually start it because they had 2 Horns plays that were absolutely deadly. So when they brought these players into the post, the first thing that I seen was as soon as they got to that post, player 2 would cut to the middle of the key and player 1 would dribble out to the side, right or left, it didn't really matter. It was the opposite side as the player who didn't cut in. At this time, player 4 and 5 would close, and player 2 would then use 4 and 5 as an elevator screen. At this time, player 1 would then pass to player 2, and if he could get that shot off, he would. However, if he was unable to get that shot off, player 4 would then use 5 as a screen and head over and set a screen for player 3. Player 1 would then go into the high post, and player 3 would then use player 4 as a screen and then use player 5 and 1 also as a screen. Player 3 would then be wide open for that 3-point shot. Obviously, this is ran against a man-to-man defense, but that play set was unstoppable, it seemed like, because the first play, the first 2-3 times they ran it, they got open threes at the point. And then after that happened, once they started doing their secondary option, it was deadly because now they were unable to stop it. And when they did, when they started switching off everything, what they did was they set up a screen on the baseline side of player 3. 5 and 4 would then clear out to the perimeter, and this would be a screen and roll. Player 1 would do a short roll to the high post, and player 3 would then attack the baseline. This third option really clears up a lot of things. It gets them into 5-out, and they can go back to their regular play. Now, this next play is kind of an opposite of what you would normally see. Usually it's the big guys in that high post, but instead what this team ran was their guards or their smaller players in the high post and their bigs were in the corners. Kind of the opposite of what you're normally used to. And what they would do is have player 1, he would pass into player 3, and when that happened, player 2 would set a down screen on player 5. Player 1 would then set the staggered screen, and they would have player 5 run off of that double screen, that staggered screen, and curl into the basket. And what they were hoping for is exactly what happened almost every single time, is one of these players, one of their defenders would switch off. And when that happened, that's a massive mismatch, and now you've got a center being guarded by a point guard, and that was just an automatic layup every single time. Now in this third play, this one seemed really deadly, and I kind of liked it too. Player 1 passes over to player 2, and when that pass happens, we then get a screen from player 5, setting that screen on player 1, and player 1 then rolls to the basket, or cuts to the basket off of that screen. If this isn't open, player 5 then pops out, and now we have player 1 set the screen. If he's not open for that pass for the layup, he sets the screen for player 4, and then player 4 uses that screen and cuts to the basket. This gives player 2 a secondary option to pass to, and then personally, if this wasn't a pass, if this was unable to get opened, personally speaking, I would just basically clear everyone out and have them set up in a 5-out. This fourth play, we have the ball handler starting on the right wing. Now, you could start this on the left wing, you would just have to flip it. But what we are looking for is a cut down middle to start. Player 1 is going to then dribble towards the point, and player 2 is going to be coming together with player 1 and using player 1 as a dribble handoff. Obviously, if player 3 was open, that would be an option 2. However, if player 2, the ball handler, like the player who's receiving the ball, was coming from the left side, player 3 needs to set the away screen for player 5. So he's going to set that away screen for player 5. Player 2 is going to dribble out towards this right side, and player 5 is going to use that screen. While everyone is worried about what's happening with the dribble handoff, nobody's paying attention to the initial cutter who's setting the away screen for player 5. This should be an open pass to player 5 for the easy layup. And what will sometimes happen, what I've seen happen a few times, the defense makes a mistake. They drop down to cover player 5, which leaves player 4 wide open for the 3-point shot. This 5th play, we're going to start on the wing as well with the ball handler, and this is going to be a little bit different than what you would normally see. We're going to see player 2 set that screen for player 5, and after player 2 sets that screen, player 5 is going to set a screen for player 3. Player 2 is going to roll off, and this would be the first option. Player 3 will then sprint up to the point, and player 1 is going to look to pass player 3 the ball. After player 3 gets that ball, player 2, who made that initial cut, is going to now use player 5 as a screen and pop out for potentially the 3-point shot. If that's not open, player 5 is going to set that screen once again for player 2, and player 2 is going to attack that basket. This is obviously a play for player 2 at the end. This is going to be for somebody who has a player 2 who is potentially like your leading scorer. I hope that these plays help your team win more games. Make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense that is down in the description below, but also make sure to go check out my Horns basketball offense that is down in the description below as well. Those Horns plays will definitely help you win more games. I hope that this video has helped you. I'll see you guys again in my next video.